When you're done with this video, you should be able to complete the following 3 practice sets: area and perimeter on the coordinate plane, points inside, outside on a circle, and coordinate plane word problems, polygons. The overriding theme of all 3 of these is that you're going to be using the distance formula, in other words, the Pythagorean theorem, to find the dimensions and the distances on these polygons. Okay. So let's say you have a question like this. It says a circle is centered at K, 0, 0. The point U is on the circle. Where does V lie? Is V inside, outside, or on the circle? So the first thing we need to find is we need to find this distance to determine what the radius is of that circle. And to do that, right, we could just draw a triangle, which would allow us to use that distance formula. So to go from here to here, I went down 4 units, right? And to go from here to here, I went over 6 units. So distance formula says I'm going to take from -4 to 0, that's 4 units. 6 to 0, that's 6 units. We're going to take the square root of that. 16 plus 36, which is the square root of 52. We're going to leave that like that for right now. Now I need to know what that distance is. I want to know if that's more or less than the radius of that circle. Okay, so the distance from 0 to -7, that's 7. And the distance from 0 over to √2, it's √2 squared. So this is going to be the square root of 49 plus the square root, or excuse me, the square of the square root of 2 is just 2. So this is √51. That means this is √51 units. This is √52 units. So point V is inside the circle. That distance is less than the radius. Okay. Let's take a look at the next type. Now we're being asked to find the area of a shape. So this is the area of a polygon, all right? And it's a parallelogram. I should have said parallelogram. So we know that the area of a parallelogram is base times the vertical height. So we need this distance here, okay? So the distance formula, or the Pythagorean theorem, if you want to think of it that way, from -11 to 1, that's 12 units. From 6 to -4, that's 10 units. So this is going to be the square root of 144 plus 100, √244. Okay. Now that's this line. Now I need the vertical distance here. So I'm going to go from -5 to 0. So that's 5 units. And I'm going from 1 to 7. That's 6 units. So this is the square root of 25 and 36, which is 61. Okay. So now we know that length and that length. So we're just going to multiply 244 times the square root of 61. If you're multiplying square roots, you can go ahead and multiply them. Multiply the numbers under the radical. And when I do that, I get 14,884. If I take the square root of this, oops, excuse me. If I take the square root of this with my calculator, I get 122. So that'd be 122 square units. Okay. All right. Now, the last type of problem you're going to have are coordinate plane word problems that essentially you're going to be using the distance formula to find lengths between things. Okay. And I think you are ready to go.